If you're curious about lipomas, here are some lipoma causes and 7 tips to get rid of them, and of course naturally. So what is a lipoma? Well, it is a fatty deposit just beneath the skin surface. It is a lesion, but it's non-cancerous, so we don't have to worry about that. And they can get quite large though, and that's why sometimes they do need to be removed surgically. But some of the most common causes for lipomas are being overweight, so obesity. We also know that alcohol can be a cause of lipomas, especially if it's a chronic thing and you're drinking too much. Another common cause of lipomas is liver disease. So if you've got a fatty liver and metabolic syndrome, this can be related back to having those lipomas as well. Okay, another cause is glucose intolerance. So these blood glucose levels that are all over the place and not controlled can be related again to developing those lipomas. As well as number 5 on my list, insulin and leptin resistance. Now, if you don't know what that is, please check out, just search it up. Please check out my other content on my channel about leptin resistance and tips how to deal with this. It's usually the leptin resistance that happens first before the insulin resistance. And again, the inability to control blood glucose levels and this whole hormonal cascade that happens in terms of our metabolism can be related to actually developing those lipomas. And number 6, another cause of lipomas is trauma. So if you've been injured in some way in that area, you can potentially develop a lipoma in that area. Now, more importantly, how do we get rid of them? Well, there are 7 tips that I'm going to share now to get rid of lipomas naturally. And number 7 is something that you may have not expected. Okay, tip number 1, regulate your blood glucose levels, meaning fixing your insulin resistance, which goes along with point number 2, fixing your leptin resistance. And some of my quick tips here are to avoid snacking, don't eat before bed, make sure that you're going to bed on an empty stomach, to make sure that your insulin secretion has happened before bedtime so that you have that proper sleep cycle, but also your other hormones need to be balanced and regulated, like your leptin levels, when you're sleeping on an empty stomach. Okay, tip number 3 for those lipomas is to do a full body detox. So this is part of a detox mechanism. Your body's trying to rid toxins and they're getting stuck, and that fatty deposit is something that can really be benefited from doing a full body detox. So that's something that I like to do at least 4 times per year, so once per quarter, with a combination of different herbal medicines to really get those toxins out and flush through the internal organs like the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, the skin, the lymphatic system, the blood. It's a comprehensive full body detox. Okay, number 4, another tip for those lipomas is to use something topically, and that's a combination of frankincense, essential oil, and some castor oil. And so what I like to do is just pour a little bit of castor oil into my hand and 3 to 4 drops of frankincense, and then you can apply that to really any growth on the body, but really great because that castor oil is going to penetrate deeply. The frankincense is known to break up deposits of tissues and cells, and for those lipomas as well. So try this if you do have a lipoma. Please let me know how it's going in the comments. Okay, tip number 5 for lipomas is to take some apple cider vinegar, and the acetic acid in the apple cider vinegar of course helps with balancing blood glucose levels, so can go a long way for helping with fat metabolism, with weight loss, and just using a tablespoon or 2 of apple cider vinegar per day just before or right after a meal can be really helpful for stabilizing those sugar levels. Okay, tip number 6 for lipomas is to increase your omega-3 fatty acids, so meaning eating more seafood in your daily diet. Fatty fish, fantastic. Shellfish as well will give you those omega-3s. Very important natural anti-inflammatories, and I actually take an omega-3 fatty acid supplement that's higher in that DHA. I find that this is really helpful to optimize my levels of that DHA every day. And tip number 7 is to fix your circadian rhythms. This means following Mother Nature's prescription. So grounding in the morning. If you've seen my content before, you know I talk a lot about getting grounded first thing in the morning. Seeing that early morning sunlight in your eyes helps with your leptin signaling and all of those hormones as well. Helps with your detox mechanisms, helps with having regular bowel movements, really connecting with nature again. And being outside in the natural outdoors helps with your microbiome as well. So this is really important for your overall metabolism, your fat metabolism as well, and can help with those lipomas. Now, for more information on how to fix your leptin resistance, please check out my video, 5 tips to fix leptin resistance. I'll see you there.